Cool. We're back. This morning we got locked out of the room, so we started 5 minutes late in order to get the room unlocked. But this time we can actually start on time. This is great. YouTube streaming, everybody's here. Most people are here. So last time we did a bunch of logistics and sort of how the class is running, looking at syllabus. What kind of questions or concerns came up as you were so excited about this class that you just couldn't stop thinking about it for the last 72 hours? Ask somebody next to you, questions about how the class is going to get run, who can you talk to, what are resources, anything like that. So check in with people next to you. What do you think? And I'll walk around to see what's going on. Any questions so far? Yeah, right now none of the submission links. Oh yeah. By next week, we'll have everything. Yeah, exactly. Right now everything is yeah, right now there's that's all necessary. By next week, sorry about that. We were just talking about if there's any questions or concerns. That's sort of the advantage to use it. Hey, I really like this, and I want some using GitHub. All right, so far, at least like questions that I've heard have been focused on like tools and technology that we're using, like where, how do I get there? What the heck is GitHub? Like where does Jupyter live? Like how do I get to Jupyter or Python? Those kind of things. So we'll tackle one thing at a time. So the first thing is our welcome discussion. We need to submit a discussion post and a GitHub fork URL. So two URLs, one for the thing that I say, like welcome to the class. This is my discussion post. So one is that. Then the other one is your fork of the course resources. That's like buying the textbook for this activity. It's like click a button and now the textbook is yours. Nice part about having open resources is that they are free and you can redistribute and use them however you see fit. So since that's the first step, we need a github.com account. So even like right here in the course syllabus, the first couple of links show you GitHub page, which is like the main where the course stuff lives. Husky CT was where I just was. So I'll click on here. And because I'm already signed into GitHub, it shows like my little icon up in the top right. If you're not signed in or you don't have a GitHub account, then this is gonna say, it'll have a little like, here, let me open this as a incognito. It says like a little sign in button. And then from there, either use a current GitHub account, and most of us as mechanical engineers, we don't use GitHub very often. So maybe you have one, or maybe it's just like lost to the wind, but we can create an account. So begin the adventure, enter an email, and yeah, go through that part first. And again, I was just clicking that like sign in link, and then option to like create an account. So we'll need a GitHub account and then NanoHub for continue. Oh, it's already associated. All right. Anyway. Okay, cool. So if you are signed into the account, then you'll have like a little dashboard in the top right, like a little icon. I think by default it gives you something that looks like Space Invaders, like some kind of 8-bit animation kind of thing. And then to like get a copy of the course, you can click that button that says fork. And when you fork the class, now you have your own version of this course material. And now you've like bought the textbook. And it's all of this is published under Creative Commons license. So if you're doing this and you think like I can build other things or I could use this tools to build something else, you can, as long as you're not selling the actual code from the class, you can kind of create your own things. You can share that with other people, create your own websites or portfolios. When I say fork, it's going to ask me like who do you want to own this? And I think all of these already have, but it gives you some options of like, do you want a new description, copy the master only? And then you can say create that, click that green button to create the fork. Sorry? I think by default it's going to be you, like your username. But if you have other organizations, and you can say that's kind of like advanced use. But here you don't have to. Yeah, exactly. So you could just click fork and then click that green create. And then what it should do is it should bring you to a page. It takes like 4 or 5 seconds for it to like copy the materials and make a new website for it. But then now you've got your own version of this thing. It tells you where it came from, this Cooper RC Compnec. And this is the link that we want for our first assignment in the course. Like we want to get a link to that github.com link. And instead of like Cooper Fall, yours is going to say your username, like username / computational mechanics. Yeah. Sorry, I was writing like a comment. What do you do for this one? For that one? Yes, I'm sorry. No, yeah. So go, where are we now? Oh, click on the button that says code on the top. Yeah, you were just doing, you can do either one first. Okay. And then there's a button that says fork on the top right. So now you like walk in. So general kind of setup of how I organize Husky CT is like the folder is stuff that you need to know and a place to submit something that needs to get done. So the first link here is like the link to the discussion post of saying like welcome to the class. Then the next one is a place to submit that the URL to that. And then it'll be the same thing for like module 1. There's a homework and there's a project. So inside the homework, there's like readings and the actual homework assignment. And then below that, by next week, it'll have like submit homework 1, like a link to put your PDF of your work. Okay, so I think we all have GitHub accounts, which means we can interact with our GitHub discussions online. And lots of people have been doing this. Other people are like struggling. They're like, what's going on? Because you can do either one first. You can either create a fork first or create a discussion post first. Either way, it's your educational journey. I can only help guide you. It's like the wizard in the forest. What does a fork do? Yeah. So a fork is like a new version of like using this kind of like git track changes. It's a whole new version of the software that you made. So like let's say our course was, you weren't like forking a course, you were forking like a website, like Wordle. Like you wanted to fork Wordle, and instead of 5-letter words, you wanted 6-letter words, like Wordle, like 6-letter Wordle. You could fork the Wordle account and like do all this work so that now it's a whole new thing.
So it's like I made a copy of it like that.
That you can, yeah, and it's your own personal copy. Because technically you could ask for access to this and edit that, because it is like, you can have multiple collaborators, but then the fork, it's like a parallel version. Sometimes it's like little features, like you make a fork and you just want to update the documentation. Or like there's all sorts of, like if I make typos, you make the fork and then you contribute back changes of like, hey, you don't know how to spell January. It's spelled Januar, not Janary or something. Um, so you could contribute that back as a pull request. So that's the nice part about forks is you get to work and try things and then bring it back. We won't. So uh, I think some people were looking at this next, like working in your fork. I had some people like pulling up this part of the website and saying like, how do I do this? Or this wasn't working. This is more of like advanced GitHub usage. So if you're like, oh man, this seems so powerful, I can't wait to use this in my everyday life. I'm gonna track everything. Everything's gonna be Git tracked. Then this is a way to like get started there. If all of this is like, oh my god, I signed up for an engineering class and I don't want to deal with GitHub, I don't need new accounts or any of that, you can ignore this. You don't have to keep everything like up to date on your fork. So this is just for your information, like an FYI. It's extra stuff that if you like developer tools and you want to get more involved, most software developers, whether it's like pure coding or like scientific coding, making models and predictions and those kind of things. A lot of times they use GitHub to collaborate with each other. So this would be a good way to like get some of that experience. All right, so then again, coming back into like the Professor Cooper structure of the course, there's the welcome discussion folder, which has the welcome discussion, so a link to the discussion, and then a place to submit your fork and discussion post. So in the welcome discussion, when you click that link, you can, I think you can click this. Yeah, it'll bring you to like the latest comments. Thanks. Or you can be like, all right, I just need to submit this, scroll all the way to the bottom. We have a big class and there's two. And this is where you can submit your discussion post. They put it down at the bottom of the ongoing conversation. And I'm going to come all the way back up to mine because I'm right at the top. Oh, there we go. You can always like edit your reply. So if you start writing something, click submit, and you're like, oh man, I forgot to do something, or I wanted to add something, or it doesn't look right. You can always go back and edit it. So like this first question is, what is one career competency that you're hoping to improve? So if I open this link, this is the Association for Colleges and Employers. So a mix of academics and working professionals got together and said, like, what are skills that people need to succeed in careers? And lots of people in lots of different careers all agreed these are kind of the 8 skills that if you have these, then you're going to be a great manager or an employee or boss, or like you'll grow in your career. So thinking about like how your current work as a student can translate into these kind of career competencies, it's a good exercise to do once in a while. So I'm asking you to do it right now. Like, what do you want to work on in this class? Are you trying to communicate better? Or here you just signed up for 2 new technology accounts. So maybe like you're expanding your horizon of what tools you're proficient in. Maybe that would be it. Or teamwork. You want to like reach out to other people and work with them, build solutions together. So for mine, I said, I'm going to work on my professionalism by creating a positive personal brand on this YouTube channel. And then, what's the next question, since we have that one? Favorite part about fall in New England? Apple picking and crisp weather. Let's see. Best part about. I'm just gonna update mine. So I've only done 2 out of 3 so far, but I'll get to it. And I can copy the 3 button, the 3 dot menu. You can edit, reply, or copy the link to that discussion post. And once I have these 2 links, now I can actually submit my work. I'm going to start an attempt number 2, post my discussion post, and grab my Cooper Fall fork URL, and I'll post both of those in there. And that's all we need, like, for this first submission for our first assignment. The rest of the stuff we'll submit PDFs of our work from Jupyter notebooks, but for the first couple of things of like make a fork, get that GitHub repo, and then make a post. That's what we're trying to get to. Yeah.
So we make the post on our fork or on the main fork?
I think you'll have to be on main. Otherwise, you would need to like enable discussions on your fork and create your own discussion board. Yeah.
I had a quick question for you. So I grabbed this yesterday. I didn't see it. Wait, so
That one is yours, yes, because it says that it was taken from Cooper RC,
okay,
like forked from.
I see. Because I turned this in. Yesterday, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, so click.
I have no idea how to use this. I wrote that in the thing, but I just didn't. So do you want to like? Oh, also.
Oh, you might. Can you click on submitted? Maybe you can edit it.
Yeah, I said I don't think I did this correct.
So that one looks like your discussion, right?
Yeah, and also that I don't know what discussion. I did that because this was I didn't see this yesterday. I just saw the second one.
Yeah, because I made it like
Yes.
earlier this morning, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I posted it all the way down here, and that's why I said I don't think I did it right because it was asking what you hit or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, do you want me to edit this and create a new submission?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Already done. That one. So you don't have to do those steps, like especially for today. You don't have to worry about this. But if you want to like get more experience using like forks and cloning and syncing changes, then we'll work on that. But that one for number 2, like steps are like down here. So instead of All right, cool. Making progress. So when you submit something, now Husky CT gives you like a something that you can download to prove that you submitted something. I don't need it. If you like keeping track of submission receipts, you're welcome to keep it. But if you tell me that you tried to do something a week ago, I'll just believe you. You don't have. I don't need a paper trail. Technology is crazy, so I'll take the human word for it more so than like submission. So yeah, if you want them, you can keep it. I don't really need them. All right, so we have GitHub. We can get into the discussion, ready to go. Some people were jumping into like getting Jupyter running already through this NanoHub tool, and that's the next step, so that we can actually like access Python and Jupyter and run this stuff. So I'll open this in a new tab in this nanohub.org. Up here, up in the top right, it's probably, actually, let me do it as a incognito mode. In the top right, it'll show you that like you need to log in or sign up in order to access this tool, unless you already did that. But we're going to sign up for an account. And don't use, the one trick that we found is that we can't use UConn as a credential. Like we can't use UConn institutional credentials. So just skip over that step. If you want to use like a personal Gmail account, you can sign in with Google. Otherwise, scroll down here, create a username, make a password, and then in here, I use my UConn email as the contact info, but you can use any email that you want. And this Nano Hub is going to be like our main like computational resource. That it's running Python code for us. It's displaying Jupyter notebooks, and all the course materials are already in there. And the fork is for you, so that you have like your own copy of the course. And again, it's a parallel copy, so you can do whatever you want with it from there. And you can publish your own website with it or anything like that. That part's done. It's like a code. I mean, technically, it's also the URL that you're in right now. Oh, I got it. Wait, the links are inside. Now you can go to and then this is it's a lot today. It's a lot of like sign up for a lot of things and juggle a lot of stuff. And where I am now, there's like in the syllabus, like in the very top of the syllabus, there's a link to Nano Hub. Yeah, yes. No, two Yeah, so skip over the thing that says like institutional. Yeah, right there. Yeah, don't use the institution. You can use Google. There's so much. Like I have like so my YouTube I mean, it exists. Like all the videos are there. So what'll happen when you it must be online. Oh, I see. I think I'm pushing the number of users that I can have logged in so far. But we'll get it fixed. So what should happen is you should bounce into like a dashboard. But once you're logged in, you should be able to say like launch tool and run like Jupyter there. So yeah, it'll bring you into like this dashboard, and now you can click like NanoHub Comp Mech and run the tool. Cool. All right, thanks for bearing with me on this like technology exploration. I know this is a lot to like sign up for multiple accounts and organize all these URLs, but now we can like be all on the same page and start building some Python and numerical method stuff. Thanks a lot.